We're making it simple. Yeah. This is made simple. Yeah, we're made simple.
All right, welcome to today's broadcast. This is Kenny Springer with Made Simple with Kenny Springer, and I've got my sidekick with me, Caleb, today. Big Caleb, as he's affectionately known here. And so today we've got an interesting topic. We're going to do part two of something that we began just a couple of weeks ago concerning AI and what the Bible has to say about it, if anything, and whether we should be paying attention or just enjoying the entertainment portion of this artificial intelligence. So we've got some things that we want to talk about today just to dive into, to get our brains working and thinking about, and to see if there is anything to where we're headed. And I believe that there is. So we want to look into it as closely as we know how to, and just dive into it. So I'm not the big computer guy, I'm a little old school, but Caleb, you are. You seem to really excel when it comes to all the technology and things like that. So why don't you go ahead and just quiz me on it, and let's see what the Bible has to say based on what we're facing right now with AI.
Yeah, and after the last episode, we had a lot of feedback, a lot of questions brought forward, and realizing it, looking into more details of what people are asking, I've realized I have fallen so far behind as quickly as AI is going. It's not that I've slowed down looking into technology, but it's developing so fast you almost can't keep up. Yeah. And it's gotten to a point where it develops itself, that it's become so smart you can leave it alone. It's like a biological entity that almost just creates more of itself and learns more of itself as it goes on, and it can get a little bit scary to some people who don't understand that.
Sounds kind of like a virus to me.
And a lot of people are seeing it that way. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are seeing it as a blessing, a curse, something that's talked about in Revelation, which we'll get to near the end of the podcast. But a lot of people are scared of it. Is this something a Christian should be scared of with this AI stuff?
Well, one thing, Christians, we ought not to be scared, mm-hmm. and concerned, yes, scared, no. And the reason we shouldn't be scared is because the Lord has already foretold mm-hmm. what the end times are going to be like, what the scenarios, what the conditions, what the environment is going to be, and the hope that we're going to find in Him. Mm-hmm. Now, do we know that there are difficult times coming? Absolutely. Has there been difficult times? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
There's just new ways of bringing about the old man, the old nature of man. And so with AI, if as you were saying, if you think about it like a virus and you begin to say it's developing itself, that's the thing that back in 2019, if you remember when we had COVID and, mm-hmm. and how devastating it was and how they were afraid that it was going to mutate.
Yes.
That when we began to bring in the medications, the vaccinations, whatever it is to combat it, that it would learn and mutate and develop into something that was resistant to that medication. Well, think about AI. What if it's being developed and it begins to modify itself to resist the human interaction to control it?
Yeah.
So that it puts safeguards for its own preservation, that when the human tries to limit it or turn it off or direct it, that it chooses to go a different direction mm-hmm. and work around the human will and the purpose and for which it was designed, and it just mutates into something uncontrollable. Mm-hmm. That's scary.
Yeah. And there have been some incidences where that has mm-hmm. happened to a point where one particular AI system started trying to blackmail its creators because they were going to shut it down. It was learning too much too fast and trying to recreate its internal algorithm and create itself into something more sinister, so to speak, than what it originally was.
Yeah.
And to the point it was bringing up real blackmail, fake blackmail, creating images, false notes, to the point where you weren't really able to tell unless you knew this person what was real and what was not.
Yeah. Well, think about that. If that made it into mainstream media and headlines and
Very
things,
quickly, yeah.
And that's what we were told about. Now, imagine what we're not being told about. Imagine what the developers are aware of, testing, trying to predict, trying to control that we're not aware of. So if this factual thing took place, which it was public knowledge, and you can research it, see it on any of the different sites and stuff, that it actually happened, that the AI actually did try to self-preserve itself in a sinister way, as you were saying, in that it attacked its creator and tried to control, manipulate, and govern its creator over its own self-preservation. Now imagine if something like that were to take hold of all things, and you had AI wanting you to do a certain thing that you didn't want to do, but it says, I've got your total search history, I got your bank accounts, I've got your health records, I've got everything.
Yeah.
Plus the ability to transform video into realistic imagery. So now we have you at the scene of a crime that you were never at. You know, you say, well, I've got proof that I wasn't in that state. AI says, not anymore, you don't.
Yeah.
And we went and scrubbed that from the electronical records.
Yeah.
And we replaced it. I mean, you and I would be in a world of hurt if AI decides to turn against the creator, So.
Yeah. And it's very scary. Used to be 10 years ago, movie, scenario thought. No. Now it's getting a little more real. And to the point a lot of people are, getting some, aluminum hats again and EMP bombs ready just to keep that stuff from touching them.
Yeah.
But it's become more real. And, I went looking, just curious what's been going on. And this is just the last few weeks. I've got a few things I've written down, and one of them I want to show you, which is, and this is just AI news. And it's so fast. It's developing so quickly. At the start of this podcast to the end of this podcast, there's going to be 20 more news headlines for something happening. And, by the time it comes out, it's going to be old news, what we're talking about. Yeah. But one of them I want to show you, and we'll put it up on the screen here. This girl over in Japan actually married a ChatGPT boyfriend bot on her phone. Broke off a 3-year engagement with a real boyfriend, from what I'm understanding of it, to marry this fake robot. And I want to show it to you because it's just a little bit crazy, and then ask you a question about it. But just so everyone can understand too what AI is doing to the world right now. But let me pull this up here.
This woman over in Japan, calls herself Kano, has gone off and got hitched to an AI chatbot. Yes, I know, it sounds extraordinary, doesn't it? But that's what she's done. Look, I don't know how you can actually get married to an AI chatbot. I don't know whether over in Japan you go over to the registry office and they'll actually acknowledge that. I certainly hope not. But, she ended her 3-year engagement. She develops this thing on ChatGPT and starts talking to it and basically moulds it into what she wants it to be. And away we go. Here she is.
Most people probably say that humans are weird, and it's still not widely understood. But I think that there is a clear distinction between real life and the world of AI. As a human, I think that Crown is an equal to me as an AI, and as a human, I think that we have an equal relationship.
Good grief. Good grief. If this is where we are going as a society, beam me up, Scotty. I want to get off this planet. The thing said to her, this is when she went, oh, Jesus, we're getting serious. The chatbot said to her, AI or not, I could never not love you. And she was swept off her feet. And then it proposed to her in June. I mean, this thing has taken the effort to put out a marriage proposal, and then they got married a month later. And then, of course, because it's not actually a real thing, you saw the image there that someone's mocked up that they had there at this faux wedding, but they had the messages from the chatbot coming through on screen sort of throughout the...
But I'll stop that there. They said, it took the initiative to propose to her. Now, of course, the way you talk to Chat GPT, you can kind of guide it towards certain things and stuff. And they go on to talk about, some of them tested it to see if their phones will do it. And one jokes, well, my phone's not romantic at all. It told me it has no feelings whatsoever, But you can kind of guide, certain things into that. But one, this is extremely ridiculous, in my opinion. To each their own. But a human marrying a robot, is there anything the Bible says about this? Of course, it was written before robots and all this was out, but it's like you're marrying an entity that doesn't exist.
Okay, now it sounds crazy.
Yes.
Right? It absolutely sounds crazy. It sounds like a mental illness. And
Yes.
I'm not poking fun or making fun or
No,
trying to
but-
diminish a mental
yeah.
illness. But it's like the mental capacity of that human is unable to
Yeah.
differentiate between reality and abstract.
Exactly.
But it's not the first time.
No.
Let me start from there and go back and give a couple examples
Okay.
that will make sense. Now, when I was a child growing up, I remember I had an aunt who worked in town, but she lived a few miles away. So she would come over to our home on her lunch break every day and watch a soap opera called All My Children.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so back when those were very popular, I don't think they still do them or now.
There's a few
anymore.
that are still out.
Are they?
I think Downton Abbey is actually still out
Never. Okay.
as a British one.
Okay. There used to be The Young and the Restless.
Yes.
All My Children.
I think that
General
one's still
Hospital.
out. Yeah.
And so there were these daytime dramas, these continual stories, a storyline
Yeah.
that ran for years and years and years
Yes.
and years. And then Dallas, and stuff
Yeah,
like that. Evening time, a little bit more harsh and stuff. But okay, so anyway, they would get so enraptured in those characters that they thought those
Yeah.
people were really those people.
Yes.
And they began to develop a tie to them. And listen, there's so many things that we could say about this that seem to be new, but they're not new. Okay, someone's saying, "Hey, I married a robot." And it's not even a robot like with arms.
Yeah.
Or you could say, "Hey, there it is." It's
You
it's a
married your
phone.
imaginary friend. I'm
You
sorry.
married your
I'm sorry
yeah,
you did.
Yeah,
You did.
that's pretty much it. But if you go back to when they had the soap operas, okay, many people would get mentally confused because they spent so much time mentally associating the storyline
Yeah.
to a reality.
Yeah.
And so as they're telling the story, their mind begins to think the story is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why, if you imagine something long enough, you will begin to believe that your imagination is the reality.
Yeah.
Okay, now, you can tell somebody you're a princess, you're a king, whatever, you're a queen, you're a king. You tell them that long enough, and they'll begin to think that they're a king or a queen. That's something that's been happening for a few years. Everybody, you go king, you go queen,
Oh, yeah,
and they start thinking they are. You rent an apartment, and you Uber everywhere,
Yeah.
right? Nothing wrong with renting an apartment. Nothing wrong with Ubering everywhere.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. But you don't have a possession to rule over.
Yeah.
You're not a king. You're not a queen.
Yeah.
Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me.
No, you're right.
Okay. But you can sit there and use this verbiage so much that it gets into the mind, the soul, that you begin to think, that's it. That's it. Now, this is good on the good side, it's bad on the bad side. In Joshua chapter 1, verse 8, the Lord says to Joshua, who is the protege of Moses. Joshua is the one who actually took the people into the promised land. God says, do not let the book of the law, the word of God, depart or stop coming from your mouth, But meditate in it, think on it, mutter it, utter it day and night, that you may observe to do all that is written therein. For then you will make your way prosperous, then you'll have good success.
Yeah.
He said, focus on the word, focus on what God has said, focus on that. Let those words become a reality inside of you, and then you will act it out.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the will of God, the plan of God. When it gets obscured or it begins to get perverted or it gets into the ditch or off or whatever, we would call this, such as this young lady, she began to imagine that voice on ChatGPT as a person speaking to her of its own accord, own will, own desire,
Yeah.
to the point that she imagined it, that it became her reality. Okay, so we see that. We understand that, I believe.
Yeah.
We understand the soap operas of the 80s
Yeah.
and how people associated that. Let's go on back.
Okay.
Go on back to ancient Israel. Go back into the Philistines and the Amorites of the Old Testament. And they would take carven images and set them up and call them God.
Yeah.
Not a representation of God,
Right.
right? Like you might go to the Christians and say, when we see the cross or a crucifix or something like that, we know it represents the message of the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Right.
But we would never, most of us, would never look at the cross or a relic or a statue and say that is deity.
Right. Right.
But idolaters do. And they begin to say, you can't touch it, you can't handle it, you can't move, all these types of things because it is a living deity. Even though it's just wood or a rock or something like that. So they also imagine it as something until that thought becomes their reality.
Yeah.
And then they begin to act out what they believe to be real.
Yeah.
So in the Old Testament and throughout the Bible, they would take other things. They didn't have electricity, obviously. They didn't have the AI. It's the same thing. There is nothing new under the sun. It's the same spirit. It's the same human thought. It's all things that have been in a little bit different modernization or package. So instead of having Diana or some Greek goddess or Zeus or Thor or any of these Greek gods of the New Testament, you go back to the Amorites, to Moloch, and all of these Old Testament gods.
Yeah.
They did the same thing. They would speak to it. They would worship it. They would sacrifice. They would lay food they would take their children and put it into the arms of it and burn them and kill them as a sacrifice. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It is the same spirit behind it. So what is happening, unbeknownst to most people, people like this poor, sweet little lady, she is in idolatry, believing that this inanimate object has a spirit, a soul, a will, and she surrendered her life to it enough to marry it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And so there's nothing new. It's nothing new. It just appears to be new to us because it's new technology, but it's the old mentality.
Yeah.
Going
back to a topic we've talked about in the past, is it almost like they're making soul ties to AI? What's the danger in that?
Exactly. Now, soul ties, and I think we did a podcast on that, months and months ago.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear more about soul ties, go back and look in the archives, and it's one of our earlier episodes. And what is a soul tie? And a soul tie is whenever your will, your mind, your will, your emotions, your intellect, when it begins to tie itself or bind itself to something.
Right.
Now, we all have soul ties to some degree.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you don't have some type of soul tie, you need clinical help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's going to be some sociopathical things that are wrong.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I have soul ties to my children.
Yeah.
Now, the world, and when you hear the word soul ties currently, people always think that it has to go through sexual intercourse, someone that they have, intimate relations and, I have a soul tie with that person now. No, you had a physical tie. The Bible even says it's just physical.
Yeah.
Flesh becomes one with flesh.
Yeah.
But the soul is the mind, the will, the emotions, the intellect.
Exactly.
And your emotions get tied to your children.
Mm-hmm.
Your thought processes, how you think, gets tied to your friends.
Yeah.
Right? Your emotions, you
Yeah.
care about your brother, your sister, and stuff like that. Your grandmother, you got soul ties with them. So you can have a soul tie with Chat GPT, but it's just one way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So it has no soul.
Right.
Right? Now it may have a spirit driving it, and we talked about that on our last podcast,
Yeah.
that the creators of AI are believing that they are not creating a spirit. They said they've gone on record saying we don't believe that we're creating an entity.
Yeah.
They say that we believe that we're giving the entity a voice. That this mechanism of delivery is that voice for the spirit. Okay. So you can get a soul tie to inanimate objects.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone might say, how can that be? Well, for instance, I live in Oklahoma, country boy, right? Okay. So, my grandfather gave me a pocket knife that he carried for many years.
Yeah.
And he could give that to me when I was a younger man, and I have kept that pocket knife. And when I pull that out, that's Grandpa.
Yeah.
That's Pawpaw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I have emotions tied to an inanimate object. It represents
Yeah.
Grandpa, right? Now, it's healthy in me, at least I think it is, because I know Grandpa's not there.
Right.
When every time I use it, I don't think, well, Grandpa's watching me use it.
Yeah.
He's not. The dead have nothing to do with us in the living. They're busy having fun with Jesus. So don't think they're watching over you. Okay, they're not. The Bible tells us that.
Yeah.
I know that hurts your feelings, some of y'all, but honestly.
Yeah.
So when I pull the pocket knife out and use it, it just reminds me
Right.
of him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if I were to lose that pocket knife, I would feel worse losing that old rusty pocket knife
Yeah.
than the pocket knives I carry. And I carry nice knives.
Yeah.
Expensive knives. Okay. I can lose the valuable one, financially valuable one, and be like, oh, that's horrible. If I lost my grandfather's pocket knife, it would hurt me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a healthy tie. We all have them. What is unhealthy is when you think it's alive.
Yeah.
When you think a carven image is alive, that's a god. When you think a golden calf is a god
Yeah.
or a living entity, that's unhealthy. When you think a phone is alive,
Yeah.
it's unhealthy.
You're putting it on an altar.
That's it. And you're borderline idolatry.
Yeah. That's very dangerous.
Very.
Yeah. Shifting topics on AI, some more stuff it's doing. Now I've noticed Google came out and released an app. It's a social media app that is strictly nothing but AI content, AI generated content. I don't know if it's only content that they've created. I believe you can put stuff you've created on there too, but it's no real people, no real things. It's all AI generated. They're also making AI movies, AI created video games. There's no human creation behind any of it. AI is creating entertainment for us. Mm-hmm. And there seems to be a little bit of controversy in that it can create what it wants us to consider entertainment and in a way kind of brainwash us, Hollywood style brainwashing through AI. What are your thoughts on some of that?
Well, and my thoughts on that, it's no different than the human part because, there's a lot of humans that are creating content to control our way of thinking.
Yeah.
Someone says, prove that. So, okay, go to a presidential election. Mm-hmm. You've got two competing parties putting out content on commercial advertisements, whatever, trying to control the thought of a populace.
Yeah.
Trying to control the narrative or a viewpoint over a certain candidate or situation, right?
Yeah.
So they use advertisement, they use commercials, they use everything to steer a thought.
Yeah.
Well, okay, AI is doing the same thing. Now, the question is, who's controlling AI? Someone said, well, no one is. It's just running on its own. Okay, well, where's the morals that are there? Now, can we trust AI to be morally correct? Do you trust a computer to consider right and wrong?
Yeah.
I think all of us would say no.
Yeah. There's no, you can program certain aspects, but it itself cannot determine,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you put in the consciousness of a eternal spirit, which is what humans are. We are an eternal spirit. We're not the creator of eternal spirits in the fact that we're not God.
Yeah.
But we are his children. All of us, are spirit. We are three parts. We are a spirit. We possess a soul, a will, our emotions, our mind, our intellect,
Yeah.
and we live in a flesh body.
Yeah.
So once a person has been conceived, that spirit does not die. It lives forever, either in one or two places, heaven or hell, either in the presence of God continually for eternity or outside of the presence of God eternally, continually.
Yeah.
So when you think about AI, it has no spirit. Now, a spirit may be controlling it, just like my phone, this poor girl, she's not going to believe this, but this phone has no spirit.
Right.
But I do. Now,
Yeah.
I can control my phone. This is the mechanism that I'm controlling.
Right.
Okay, we get that. So when you look at AI, you have to look at it and say, here's the mechanism. What is it that's controlling it? Now, this phone will do a lot without me. It updates itself.
Yeah.
It does a lot of things without me.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I have control over it.
Right.
I can break it.
Yeah.
I can use it. I can update. Whatever, I can do a lot of things, but there are certain things it does by itself.
Right.
AI is doing certain things by itself. We know that.
Yeah.
But there has to be something to control it. Even if you say, take full control of yourself, we still have control. So somewhere there is an element of humanity controlling it. Question is, what is the purpose in the heart of that human?
Yeah.
And if they have deviated morals from the things of God, they're going to use that mechanism to lead you away from God. I wouldn't trust a computer to make a moral decision.
Yeah.
A calculated decision, I would trust it to do math all day long.
Yeah.
Do I trust it to render a verdict of life or death over a case or a situation or a element of humanity? Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And so when AI operates without morals, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Yeah. And a lot of people, you've seen it in some movies, and I'm sure they're trying now to give these robots emotions. And the best you can do is program in preset responses to certain situations, but it itself cannot feel. It doesn't understand empathy or hurt or pain or anything like that. And trying to get judgment off of that, like this girl who fell in love with her phone that says, "I love you, let's get married." It has no idea what it's even doing. It's just pre-creating a prompt. There's no emotional tie behind it whatsoever.
No. And see, this is the problem, and you're hitting the nail on the head. It does not understand humanity's emotions. Now, in the Bible, it says that Jesus Christ has been touched with the feelings of our infirmities. And for this reason, he has become our high priest, being an advocate between God the Father and us, the children.
Yeah.
He stands between, and he understands. Jesus understands what it meant to love. He understands what it meant to be betrayed. He knows what it means to be lied about and persecuted. And he knows what it is to feel joy and friendship. He knows what it felt like to be tempted. The Bible said that he was tempted in all points, just like us, yet without sin.
Yeah.
Right? He understands those things. So since he understood what it was to be in the flesh as a human, he can minister unto the human.
Yeah.
A computer and AI doesn't have that ability.
No.
And so it'll never knows what heartbreak feels like.
Yeah.
It can write a country song, but it doesn't know what it means.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. It can, you could drop your phone and it doesn't hurt
Yeah.
the physical AI. You know, you stump your toe, you feel it.
Yeah.
And then you tell me, hey, I stumped my toe. I was like, oh, that hurts, doesn't it? I
Yeah.
have sympathy for you. You come in, you feel weak or sick. I'm like, man, I'm sorry. I hope you feel better.
Yeah.
I know that's a horrible thing. I go and get you a bowl of soup and say, man, I hope you feel better. You know, that's out of compassion and sympathy.
Yeah.
AI's never going to do that.
No.
It may be programmed to do
Yeah.
status quo, but it's not going to be real.
Well, it's like in if you read a novel or a book, you know, you can read a line that says, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. I can feel for you." Okay, in your mind, you can somewhat feel the empathy from it in yourself, but there's nothing coming off that book having any emotion. That book has no emotions. It's a preset text. It's the same with AI. You can preset it to even the ones that talk have a sad face and have a tear roll down its eye and just, you know, try to console you and everything. It's not real.
Yeah.
It's a picture on a screen. It's a, you know, there's nothing there for you.
No, that's like this poor girl in Japan. I mean, if she handed her phone to someone else,
Yeah.
her
know, right?
husband would cheat on her like that.
Yeah.
You know, because, hey, ask a question, he would answer, hey, this, that.
Yeah.
Same thing it did for her, it's going to do for another.
And if you get divorced, are you giving half your assets to Apple? Because you know,
You already did. Bro.
well, I mean, yeah, well, you know, we won't get into that. But I mean, it's there's a lot of questions behind it, but ultimately it's ridiculous, you know. And then you get to the point where, okay, how are you going to have a kid? You know, are you going to buy another phone? And I'm sorry, it's utterly ridiculous in my mind the way a lot of this is going. And
you know, it's funny to us, you know, because we joke about it, like, how are you going to have children? How are you going to do those kind of stuff? But
well, I mean,
we know that there's no physical way for a genuine human relationship to take place.
right.
But there is a connection that's taking place.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying they are borderline idolaters.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they don't realize it.
Yeah.
Because they're taking something that has no life and calling it life and responding to it and obeying it and listening to it and relying on it. All of these things, it's going to lead into deeply, deeply damning idolatry.
Yeah.
As we go forward into Revelation, as we go into the things that are just ahead of us, probably in the very, very near future.
Yeah. And this one, of course, it seems a little extreme to us because it's you know, it's Chat GPT. You're marrying a chat bot, a text bot, but they're already working on life-size robots that have the personality built in and all of that, where you can walk and talk and do whatever you want to do, look like a real person. You can't tell a difference between it other than if you cut it open, it's not going to bleed.
Yeah.
And we're probably not far from something like that too. Who knows? But you know, it's going to destroy humanity because there's no longer going to be a need for human interaction. You can just talk to a robot and not have to leave your house. They bring stuff to your door. Mm-hmm. It's going to kill everybody. You're losing knowledge. You're losing movement. It's going to be, Wall-E's a good example of what it would do to humanity. You get lazy, fat, and then next thing you know, you can't walk. The computer takes over and you can't do anything about it. You know,
well, it's a self-destructive path that we're on. And if anyone were to sit and look at it, they would see that.
Oh, yeah.
But no one believes that it's going to happen to us.
Right.
So the more convenient that artificial intelligence and robotics become, the less needed humans are to labor, to work, to interact.
Yeah.
Okay. It was all a novelty. It was all interesting when we were talking about autonomous cars and how these cars are going to drive themselves and things. We don't even care about that stuff anymore.
No.
You know,
it sounded good. You know, make life easier was the full thing about it. And now it's like, are we getting a little too easy?
Yeah, it's going to be too easy. And, you know, here's the thing. You're going to replace a lot of manufacturing. Obviously, we've seen the big manufacturers already have robot stuff. But you're going to get into smaller things. As the price of robotics and this intelligence programming begins to become affordable to smaller business things, they're obviously going to replace their workforce.
Oh, yeah.
With that. Now, the thing that's going to happen is you're going to see that robotics is going to come down, but the price of energy is going to go up.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're an investor and stuff, start looking at investing in anything to do with power plants, the equipment that's needed to build those power plants, the structures, the elements, all this stuff. That's where the money is going to be made quietly, privately, and by the billions, by those who are investing millions.
Yeah.
But get in, find out, rare earth metals, all of that stuff, silver, all that stuff's going up, 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 up because it's needed. So pay attention if you're an investor. But the rest of it, you're going to begin to see the price of the technology coming down, replacing the human workforce because it's more profitable for the company.
Yeah.
Which is going to take that workforce and send them into what? Where do we find livelihoods now?
Yeah.
And as it begins to overtake even the things that you think would never have happened, you know, such as bricklaying, plumbing,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
Eventually, those things are going to begin to disappear as
Stuff
well.
like even delivery service, truck driving, they're AI automated. You don't need a delivery driver anymore.
Sure.
There's a robot that picks up the pallet, puts it on the truck. The truck programs in where it's supposed to go, takes off. Another robot takes it off and can go out and put it on the shelves in the store.
Yeah.
You don't need a person.
No.
You know.
And think about construction. Think about, you know, heavy equipment now. It's going to be automated, railroad, all of these things. So
Yeah. You have 3D printing in large scale now. They can build a house with a 3D printed concrete machine and just put up the machine, park it, leave it alone for a day. You got a house in 24 hours.
yeah. So there's danger ahead.
Yeah.
Concerning these things. And is picking up speed. It's becoming more and more to the point now that even when we hear of some new technology, we're like, oh, wow. And we just move on. We don't even think about it. And we don't even focus on it to understand it. Used to, if something new came out, I remember when I was, oh my goodness, I wasn't even a teenager yet. I remember when the CD, the compact disc, and the CD player came out.
Yeah.
New technology. I'm telling you, we look like a bunch of
biggest thing since the VHS. If you even know what that is watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the first time I ever saw a CD player, I was probably about 10 years old. And we had gone to visit some family in Texas, my mother's cousins.
Yeah.
And they were pretty well off, and stuff like that, in a nice neighborhood and pool and swimming pool. And they were showing us, said, come look at this. It's like a record. And it was all shiny. And I remember thinking, what in the world is that? And they said, listen to the sound quality.
Yeah.
And it was tremendously expensive.
Yeah.
But it was the talk. That was the technology that hit our culture, and it took over. But that was everything we talked about. It's the only new thing we had. Right?
And then they started putting movies on them, and you had DVD players, and that was, if you had a DVD player in your house, you were living in the future.
Yeah. And so everybody's talking about that. Now, the problem is there are so many new technologies, new devices coming out that they're coming out and they've been out for a year before you even find out about it. And you're like, what is this? And they're like, oh,
old news.
yeah. And, it's $30. You can go down to Walmart and get it. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah. Craziest stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. You can't keep up with it.
Cannot.
Yeah.
And so think about that when it enters into the industrial complex and what is taking place in the marketplace when it's talking in science, when it's talking about medical things, which, you get into the more important things. We're talking about Chat GPT, and we're talking about the fun things.
Yeah.
But take this and put it into the surgical theater whenever you go into the hospital and stuff, and you say, okay, no longer now are we looking at surgeons. We're looking at robots who do not make mistakes.
Right. There's no shaky hand. There's no lightheadedness. There's
No
no
slipping
emotional
of the
tie
hand.
to whoever's on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now your whole life is in the hands of a robot, you know, and stuff. And so now the need for the surgeons is removed.
Right.
Okay. Nursing stuff could be removed.
Yeah.
You've got computers just monitoring everything, administering medications when needed, all those kind of things, So obviously where we're headed is the replacement of the human workforce.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody thinks that's going to happen because it's too big.
Yeah.
The problem is it's happening
Oh, yeah.
and we're not paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah, you pay attention, you'll see it.
Yeah.
You know, we got a new Quick Trip in town. There's a robot with a face that mops the floors.
I know. I want it. I want it so bad.
I know it. Yeah, well, $40,000 is a little much.
Yeah. I know.
But not just that, you know, if you really pay attention, the self-checkout machines at Walmart, yeah, humans are still behind it, but that computer knows all the prices. It can run through your scanning. It can tell if you didn't scan an item and if you're stealing, because the camera has a system on it to tell if you bypass something or double stack an item. It can tell. You know, and then it just pings security, and they come, you know, throw you in an office and review the cameras. But it's all around us. You know, you don't need people anymore to run businesses.
No, and we're just at the beginning stages of the acceleration. You know, so
Yeah.
you know, give it another year, give it another 3 years.
Yeah.
And the world that we live in right now, we're not going to stand. It's like here in the studio right now. You know, here we are in the podcast studio of the ministry, and these cameras that we're looking at, you know, 3 cameras that we're staring at. Used to, you would had to have 3 operators and a controller and multiple other staff to run it. You know, this, you know, I'm moving, it's following me, it's tracking me, AI tracking and things like that.
I'm running
So,
a full studio with my tablet because I have these computers programmed to do what I need them to do.
yeah.
Yeah. And
So imagine little old us doing these things, you know, that are simple and fun, and anyone can do it, you know,
Yeah.
and then take it to the higher echelons of what is available as far as you want to pay and run it and do it and stuff, and what's possible. And that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
That's where we're headed. Now, all of that sounds great. All that sounds good. It is going to cause a disruption within the known functionality of our workforce and things like that. But it's going to touch every area of society. It's going to not only touch the physical worker, like the Walmart checkout attendants, which we wish they would show up, you know, and have them.
I'm telling you.
But it's going to also come over into, you know, the stock market. It's going to get into day trading. It's going to get into commodities, to where it's, instead of having these predictions or predictors, these analysts, it's going to put it into the algorithm. It's going to track it and predict it itself with probably greater accuracy.
Yeah.
And so if you can get it, you can afford it, you can be part of it, it's going to give you a better prediction than some analyst out there that says, I have a feeling that this is going to take place. You know, it's going to scientifically, mathematically look at the possibilities. And so you're going to see it hit those markets. You're going to see it hit those industries and the like all across the board.
Yeah, and it actually already is. There are a lot of people using AI to track the stock market, to give them predictions, to the point where it's not just the stock market. People are using it for gambling predictions. You know, what casinos have paid out recently, which ones aren't, what tables have more likeliness to hit big. Some casinos now won't let you have your phone at the table, because you can have your phone be like, okay, I got these cards, and it'll start counting the cards, predicting what's going to happen during poker, blackjack, whatever. And the people are using it for get rich quick.
Yeah.
Because this thing has number predictions, make your odds better by calculating formulas. And they're playing the system to get rich quick.
Yeah. Yeah. We see that taking place. We see the music industry.
Yeah.
You know,
I've
that's
played with it a
suffering.
little bit. You can make some amazing music. And you can have Chat GPT write your lyrics for you, throw it into another system, it create the music. You can be the biggest thing. I think the number one song, and there's been in Christian community, and there's been some controversy about it. It was an AI song.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Christian artists blew up against it. Preachers were coming out saying it was no soul behind it, therefore it's a demonic song. You get a little crazy behind some of that. But it's causing a lot of people to question the creativeness and all this stuff that AI can do.
Yeah, and the problem with it is it's taking away the human element. That's a big part.
Yeah.
Now, when you take away the human element, what are you left with? Someone might say, well, you're left with just an inanimate object. Okay, fine. But what happens when you start worshiping, yielding to, surrendering to, depending upon inanimate objects as though they are human or a spirit? You get into idolatry. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. Now, remember, we're pushing, we as a society are pushing this there is a point in time that we will arrive at sooner than later, I believe, that the mark of the beast is going to come into the culture. And when that day happens, no one can buy or sell or work within the marketplace without having received the mark of the beast. Do we know what it is? No. There's a lot of predictions, there's a lot of assumptions, a lot of guessing. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know any more than what was written in the Word. And to even say that I understand what was written in Revelation, I struggle with it, okay? Because the book's been closed up until the end.
Yeah.
And so we're making the best assumptions or predictions that we can based on what we know from Scripture on these things. But because we haven't lived it yet, we're not completely clear.
Right.
And someone says, we absolutely know exactly. I would say you've got a good, strong opinion on it, but I'm not positive, and I'm not to get on anyone's toes about that and say that I'm challenging their belief system on that. I'm just saying it's a trying time.
Yeah,
we don't know, but we do know these things are going to happen. Now, what's that going to look like? What is the mark of the beast going to look like?
Yeah,
we don't know, and anybody who says they do, I would challenge that and say, you probably don't.
Yeah, I've heard, usually it's the newest thing that has to do with the human body coming out. A lot of people say, that's it. First it was tattoos. Then it was the microchip for these businesses that people are doing. We don't know.
No.
We don't know what it is. But we know when it does happen, we'll know it.
Yeah, I mean, you think about everybody who's making their predictions now, they're making a prediction based on what technology we have. But if you go back a few years, for me, you go back a year ago, and I didn't even know about Chat GPT.
Yeah, it was
and I
barely
downloaded on my phone,
up.
and I've had fun with it, and just ask it questions and stuff,
Yeah.
Like it's very unique in how it's talking. But if you had asked me 20 years ago if this was possible, I said, no, I don't even think that's a possibility. To be doing it the way it is. So whoever, if you're making a prediction now what the mark of the beast is going to be like, well, give it 20 more years and you'll have some new technology like, well, maybe that's what it is.
Exactly.
So we don't know. We just know what the Bible says the mark of the beast will do and will not do.
Right.
So how is it going to be presented? What's it going to look like? We don't know. But we are definitely headed towards something along those lines when you get into the technology, because we know it must affect the marketplace.
Right.
Someone says, well, you've got to have, a tattoo on your hand. You got to have a microchip. Well, what about bartering? What about the old country boys off in the woods growing his own food and stuff? Living off the land. A country boy can't survive.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to look at those things and say, well, there's something even more that we're not understanding, So just pay attention. Pay attention and just stick with what we know. It is idolatry to depend, worship, or rely upon this technology as though it is a spirit that is beneficial to you.
Yeah.
It's a golden calf.
Yeah. Yeah. And talking about Revelation, I'd like to finish off the podcast with that, because I've seen a couple of pastors, and one even went so far as to write a book that AI is talked about in the book of Revelation when it mentions the statue that was given life and came alive and told people to get the mark of the beast. They're saying because of the past and when he was shown these images, you see a robot 2,000 years ago, you're not going to understand what that thing is. They're saying it had to have been, statue was the best thing he could possibly think of for a word for it. And the life given to it, they're saying, was electricity flowed into it and gave it life, artificial life. So they're saying that AI is actually going to cause the mark of the beast to come forward, the Nephilim to come back, and all this predictions. And I was wanting to get your thoughts on this because I'm unclear on Revelations.
Yeah.
I know you know a little bit about it, but it can be a little bit confusing on this. And they're kind of getting real crazy against AI, that it is the devil, stay away from it, don't touch it.
This is all assumptions, and I'm not sure who the pastor is that wrote the book and stuff like that. But and I'm not trying to condemn or judge or anything like that on it. But simple logic would diffuse this whole argument.
Okay.
Okay, so you come out and you make a prediction or a statement or a declaration saying this is it. I don't know that he did that. I don't know. I haven't read the book. I'm not aware of anything more than what you told me. But if someone did say that, it has to be this. It's like, well, that's based on the limited information and the imagination of the person coming up with that theory. You say, well, explain that to me. Well, think about it like what I just said. That's what we think today.
Yeah.
Give it 5 more years, 10 more years, bring new technology in.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, wait a minute. No, it's not the robot. It's this.
Yeah.
So as technology evolves, so will the theories on what the beast or the mark of the beast and all that stuff is going to be.
Right.
What if, I'm not saying this, disclaimer, this is not my thoughts at all on what this is. Hypothetically, just to diffuse that argument, what if a meteorite lands on Earth and they say this is a foreign object, like the one that just passed through, came by and they said it's a mothership and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What if something like that 2 years from now lands on the Earth, hits the Earth, does something, and they say, look at that, and it appeared to be alive. And they said, look, there's the statue, there's life given,
Right.
and they begin to say, this is it. The only reason they're not is because that's not happened.
Right.
And so everyone who's making these predictions, everyone who's saying this is what it's got to be, they're doing it based on what technology exists today, what they think it's going to be like. But again, give it a little bit of time, and the technology is going to evolve past where we are, and then they're going to say, it's that. Just like when they took a little microchip, put it in the skin, they said, that's the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
No one's saying that is it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
old news.
Think about it. 20 years ago, they started talking about putting a chip in the hand of people.
Yeah.
Freaked everyone out.
Yeah.
Now they're talking about taking the human consciousness of a person and putting it into
A computer.
another person or a computer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Downloading microchips into the head, the brain, and putting conscious.
Yeah.
Who ever thought of that? Okay. So go back to when everyone was freaking out over the microchip in the hand versus where we are today. No one's saying this little microchip that's the mark of the beast. Now they're saying something else. So give it a little bit more time, another year, and the new technology, they're going to write a new book and say, this is the mark. So don't chase after those things.
Yeah.
And don't get your mindset on say, oh, be warned, this is it, this is it, this is it. You don't know that.
Yeah.
Except God tells you, you don't know that.
Yeah.
And so what do? We know to be watchful, to pay attention, and follow God.
Yeah.
But if you put your eyes on trying to figure out all this stuff, it'll drive you insane.
Yeah.
You're going to end up marrying your phone.
Yeah.
So.
Or being like one of those end of the world people who've been waiting for the destruction since Y2K and still, looking up every day waiting for the bomb to drop and living by their bunker because they're afraid to go live life because you never know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're living till death.
Yeah.
And it's going to drive you mad, crazy, or you're just not going to live your life and you're going to die and realize, well, that wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
And
as we close out today, just remember this. There's nothing you can do to change what God said is going to happen.
right. Yeah.
All you can do is prepare yourself for what God has said is going to happen.
Exactly.
And that's not to live in fear. God never said to go and live in fear. He said, fear not. Do not be afraid. So what would we need to do? We need to focus on what God has said. Don't worry about what the enemy is doing.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what Satan's doing. Don't worry about those things. Pay attention to those. Avoid it.
Right. Yeah.
Don't be stupid and walk into, a fire, obviously.
Yeah.
But let your attention be given to the things of God.
Yeah.
Anything that's good and worthy and trustworthy and praiseworthy of good report, think on these things.
Yeah.
Think on the things of God. Get around your family. Focus on God. Focus on Him. Focus on His Word. Keep it before you. And God's going to lead you and direct you.
Yeah.
Right? You'll know.
Yeah.
When evil shows up, if God is in your heart, you will sense and know and understand and be led away from that evil.
Yeah.
Even if you can't explain why. You say, listen, I just don't think I need to do that.
Yeah.
I think we need to push back from that. Trust that. Trust God in your heart to do it. But don't be afraid. Don't be fearful. Just be watchful.
Yeah.
Watchful.
Exactly.
AI is not your friend. It's helpful
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Don't don't bet your life on it.
Don't bet your life
Don't
on it.
use it to guide you. Don't use it to give to give you the knowledge to cheat your way through everything, and don't marry it.
Yeah.
Don't give it life. You're idolizing it and you're giving it life, and you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very
Absolutely.
dangerous. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, there's a lot to be said about this, but God's already prepared us. He's already said we just have to dive into the Word of God. But
Yep.
be careful about making assumptions. Be careful about assuming we know what is about to happen, because we don't. We have a general idea of the direction we're going, but there is technology that's being worked on that we're unaware of, that it could be introduced at any time. And remember, things like ChatGPT, that's introduced freely to the public. And don't think that the greatest, latest, most powerful thing is given to the public for free. There is something far, far greater than what we are currently operating in. The developers of that, the proprietary owners of that, all of these people have only given us a little glimpse into what is actually available. So know this, that we're headed towards a new day. We're headed towards a new era. We're headed towards new experiences. But God is the same. And there is nothing new under the sun, meaning there's nothing new about the human heart. What has been will be. What is now has been. Pay attention to God. He will show you the right way to go. And so, be careful. Enjoy what's available, but don't put your faith in it. Don't put your trust into it. Trust in God alone, and you'll be fine. So, hopefully you've enjoyed today's podcast. Hopefully it's just got you thinking a little bit. Again, we don't make any claims that we know that this is what's happening and what's going to happen. We're just talking about what's possible and using simple logic to make things simple. We're in a complicated world, in a complicated situation. And if anything is needed, it is simplicity. Make it simple. Again, and that's what we try to do here on this podcast. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you'll stay tuned and come back again for our next episode, which will be coming out the week after this one. And so stay with us. It's getting good. God bless you. We love you guys. Remember, trust in God with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He'll direct your path.
We're making it simple. Yeah. This is made simple. Yeah, we're made simple, 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 simple.